Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is November 27, 2020. I'd like to start off this show with a little bit of footage some of the footage I've been able to accumulate in recent years in regards to UFOs. There's a modern day name for it now too. They call them aerial phenomenal craft or something like this. So here's a little bit of a footage on some recent starships that I've been able to get some footage of in recent years. Here it is here. Okay, this is May 2018 in Vancouver, Canada on the SkyTrain, the light rail transit system in Vancouver, Canada. And as you can see, there's these pill-shaped ships. They've got like it's quite a thing. First time I've seen ships quite like that in just from looking from the Earth's surface like that, eh? And I was able to get some footage of them. It was interesting when I was filming this. I was filming it to show this craft here in the air, and I didn't even notice these until I played it back later on my iPhone camera. And as you'll see here soon, this film will go somewhere else. And I was just pointing it out the window of the train and watch it go somewhere else. I find that quite interesting about this film footage I was able to receive. Here's how it goes now. See now, yeah, now it's going to go somewhere else. And I certainly could guess on that. And that's all it would be basically. But look at this. That, that could certainly be thought of as, somebody doctoring up something, eh? But that, yeah, I'm pointing this camera outside the window of a train, like I say, just going by, traveling through the city and stuff, eh? Now, here's a little bit here. I just want to show a little bit more of this, which I find interesting too. Right about here. Oh no, it's coming back. Yeah, it's a little bit back farther before there. Let's see. Let's go to here. Yeah, here it is here. There's a little bit here. Oh, go back a little bit farther. Okay, it's going in. Okay, here, the way it changes. It's like, wow, man. Oh, yes. Oh, there's something up there too, you see? Something showed itself up there too. Like so. Let's see here. There it is there. Yeah, there's something. Yeah. There's a better look at the YouTube videos already posted than what's going to come through here. But I just wanted to show a little bit of that. And then it comes back into just showing the sky. And oh, here is just a little bit of footage of, this was an interesting one I found as well. And to this day, for some reason, I had that feeling that there was a light warrior who prophesized a Palladian mothership was going to show itself to her at around this time. Now, shortly after I heard that, I seen this, and obviously I can't prove it, but I think this is a Palladian mothership, and it was at twilight. This is January of 2019 at a beach on the south coast of Canada here. And it was amazing. I found that the sun was, and the film I have on my YouTube channel picks it up some, but with the naked eye, you could really see it even more profoundly. Literally, the sun was pulsating so much and right at twilight, eh? And it's like this big mothership was on top of it. It was really what I was sensing was this very powerful Palladian mothership, which, like I say, I don't have proof that that's what it is, but that's what I'm feeling and thinking ever since I got the film, and hearing from us a very powerful light warrior walking the earth, prophesizing about this mothership that's going to reveal itself to us in the sky. And so anyways, be that it may or may not be, it was, to me, there was an interaction of energy going on there for sure with this Palladian mothership and the sun of this solar system. And the sun was just pulsating like very heavily pulsating, especially for certain periods. I've got a fair bit of a film on it on my YouTube channel, like I say, I just, play some acoustic guitar for the background, some background, a little bit of a background score. So anyways, that's I call it Mothership at Twilight on my YouTube channel. And this is another one. This is when I left. I was in Taipei in May 2018, and when I was leaving Taipei at the airport, what was that called? It's called Taiyuan Airport, the international airport, just outside of Taipei, anyways. And right outside the window, where we were all ready to board our plane when it was ready to be boarded, we're in that area. When I got there, I looked out the window and I seen all these, which I believe are Light Forces ships. Like I say, obviously I can't prove this stuff, but anyways, here is some of that footage. Especially this one here looks a little more pronounced than the others. So this is the airport, yeah, outside of Taipei, May 2018. It was just a few days before I got the footage of, this one's interesting, I find. It's got this little white top like that and stuff. And this footage, what I find interesting, I was able to get this footage, and then I went back to the other, flew back to the other hemisphere, the Western hemisphere, and I'm taking a train in Vancouver, Canada, and I got the footage, some really excellent footage of some starships in the sky there. But to me, I have that feeling these are positive force ships, and these are not our SSP ships, if you will. I mean, I certainly could be right out base of this, but I always figured this is some ships from the Galactic Confederation, if you will. Probably Palladian Confederation light ships, to be more specific, but I'm just basically guessing here too. But these to me are certainly positive force ships in play here, and so that was really a neat sighting I found. I looked out and it's like, wow, man, and stuff, eh? And so there's a little footage. There's more expanded footage on my YouTube channel for anybody that may be interested. Okay, now, so just wanted to share a little bit with that. And I'd like to speak a little on UFO sightings that, so many of us on the surface have had so many sightings, of ships, various types of craft, all sorts of craft, including our own from the SSP fleets. There's all kinds, and stuff, my recollection of the first UFO that I've ever seen was when I was I was 19 years old, which would have been 1981, and I was with a friend, so there's actually be a witness here. I could call him up and he'd say, yeah, absolutely. So that's good. Nice to have when you have other people saying, yeah, I saw that too, So basically what happened there was, and years later I thought about it, that this is a craft that's from us, our people, our space program. What it was, it looked like a Hercules aircraft, they transport, like I was in Hercules when I was my couple of years I did in the Canadian military. I was on a Hercules a few times where they transport us, troops and stuff here and there. And of course, lots of cargo. So it's, it's a military cargo ship, and it's great for transporting troops and stuff. They got all the mesh seating all along the sides. And I just want to say that was more comfortable than these friggin', civilian passenger aircrafts. They got them all so crunched in the seating, Man, I'd rather fly on a few times when I went on Hercules in the Canadian Armed Forces, when I was in the Canadian Armed Forces, man, just like sitting in on the side, all these nice mesh comfortable seats, and you're not all, you don't have something like this in front of you and that. But anyways, that craft looked like, a small, to describe it, it was greenish for sure, and it looked like a military type of aircraft, and it looked a little like a small Hercules, and not quite as thick bodied either, but like a Hercules, and it had more undercarriage looking stuff on the bottom of it. I remember that too. So we're driving down a boulevard in Ottawa. This is Ottawa, Canada. This is like about, this would have been 2019 in the springtime. Yeah, that was about March 2019. Yeah, that would have been, because I remember that period. It was right after, St. Patty's Day and stuff. Eh? That's March 2019, after St. Patty's Day. That's when it was. Not long after that. And so I just have a good memory for dates, names, and details of things that happened 40 years ago and stuff. So anyways, this aircraft, its wing was almost touching a building. We're driving down a boulevard in Ottawa, and this like 15-story building, and the aircraft's wing is like, it's almost touching the building, right? So we're going, wow, what's that? And it's still, yeah, it's like, it's we're driving down this boulevard towards it, and we're like about friggin', we're like at least a quarter of a mile from it, if not more, but we can see it because it's high enough up from the other buildings that it's just there, and it's seemingly, we certainly didn't hear anything. We were far enough away anyways too, but its wing was so close to the building that right away we seen, wow, we both said UFO, man. Hey man, there's a UFO, eh? Because it was able to do that, right? It was able to. So basically, and then in the blink of an eye, this craft disappeared. Like for both of us, we literally, and like I say, I could get testimony on this one for a witness. Nice to have witnesses. In this case, there is one of my old buddies from the hood, eh? So this craft. So basically what this craft, after, years later thinking about this, especially in recent years now that we're getting so much more information on everything, including advanced technologies, all this stuff, right? So this craft obviously had cloaking technology in it because it was able to just vanish from us, from our visible light spectrum. It's there and then it's literally not there. And it also had certainly its propulsion system was advanced for anything we have to this second that officially even exists, right? I mean, we have those Harriers, like I know what the British military, I remember seeing first when those Harriers that can actually, their military airplane designed, jet designed craft that can go like this, and stuff. And they can actually, they can hover and stuff, but it wasn't one of those, it was, because it wasn't moving at all. It was like still as the night, like it was still. So it wasn't a Harrier, but because like I say, there's craft we have that can do that, eh? The Harriers, they can like hover and stuff and that, eh? So anyways, that was almost certainly, it had to have been our people's, people from our people's, American / Canadian, Space Force from that fleet, if you will, eh? And because with that technology as well, and I'm just guessing, it wasn't, a non-terrestrial craft. It was almost certainly, I mean, for some reason, I could say I know that, but I can't prove it. So, so that was a local Space Force, which, way back then, I certainly never dreamed it existed. I heard of NASA and stuff like we all have, eh? So anyways, that I found very interesting, that craft with such advanced technologies. It showed us a lot in a short time, which was, was really cool. A lot of times they show us this, not just because it's a mistake or they don't want, if they don't want to see in us, we basically don't see them, eh? So, but that was pretty cool. Like I say, that one equipped cloaking technology and undoubtedly some sort of an anti-gravitic propulsion technology where literally it can be still. It's like, wow. And not there's various chief propulsion systems used in advanced craft, of course. So I'm not exactly sure what that would have been, but it was more advanced of a propulsion system than to this second on Earth in 2020 that officially exists, right? So, anyways, that was pretty cool actually seeing that. And in recent years, I've had many sightings, as a lot of us have, like since 2012, really, eh? And also, I want to mention one more thing on UFOs, or a couple more things maybe. And I've heard from good sources that this is the case, and from experiencing it, I've had 4 or 5 times where I got film of starships in the sky, including a couple of times where they're looking like a plasma ball of light, really bright light, those types, a couple of those, and then another one where it was an actual, I got footage, or I thought I got footage of, where I could see the metallicness looking of the craft. You know what I mean? It was in that. It was like totally decloaked, man. And it was really low to the ground. So I couldn't hear anything. I go right away, oh man, this ain't friggin' burning carbons in a jet engine like we see at these airports when, go take a plane, if we can even take an airplane anymore, right? So, but that one, I filmed it, and then eventually it actually decloaked, or it cloaked itself, and it disappeared. I say, wow, I got some great footage, eh? And that was another one. I play back, nothing's there, man. It was like, wow, man. So that's the thing. And I checked with some good sources, and so definitely that technology exists. Like often, if we're filming something in the skies, us on the Earth's surface, if they don't want to be filmed, it doesn't show up in the film. I mean, that's it's pretty amazing technology, and that. Eh? So that I'm certain I know exists as well from firsthand experience, and I got some input from what I consider a very reliable, a very excellent source, and actually an SSP veteran who I've been able to meet personally, and just. He's got a lot of memories of his service in the SSP, and it's like a lot of mind-blowing stuff. And a guy's like just got this big heart, and he's a great soldier and all that. So I found that interesting. I find that quite interesting. That's some really groovy technology. Even one time when there was a helicopter hovering, I shouldn't even speak of it, but and I won't. I don't want to draw these darker forces, because that's it. You can just, there's ways we can protect ourselves. But the reality is, as many of us know, Black Ops is sent at people, various types, eh? And so anyways, a couple of times when helicopters were involved in that kind of thing, I was filming this helicopter for close to 15 minutes, hovering, because it was hovering too low to the ground. That's even legal, right? But there's they do what they want, right? Basically, in many cases, I'm filming them for close to 15 minutes, and then so anyways, later on, I go back and play the film. That helicopter was not showing up in that film. Almost 15 minutes worth of film, and then some other film that I did. I won't get into that story. Maybe some other time I can speak of some of these experiences. But anyways, that shows me that our people have that technology too, because that was SSP covert type craft and staff, etc. Right? That wasn't no non-terrestrial forces that do. That were involved there for sure. That's some local stuff. I mean, the helicopter looked like a standard looking, like a lot of the ones in our forces here are, these kind of yellowish color and stuff like that. So anyways, enough of that for now, obviously, but it's all breaking through now. UFOs, wow, lots of great sightings in recent years. Not really in the last couple of years, though. I haven't been looking a lot. Oh, one more thing on that, though, is I got some really good footage, including a couple of times where it didn't show up, but I go, wow, I'm seeing there was a period where I was seeing lots of UFOs, lots of craft in the sky. And so I figured, I guess that's maybe what I should be doing. So I started going out every day with my zoom camera, and I'm Mr. I'm going to be the Mr. UFO captured on the camera guy and post them all on YouTube. So I got the wrong motivations, right? It was like, you know what I mean? And then, wow, I went out for, several days looking all over, and I don't seem to see anything. And then something came to me that, this ain't no joystick, man, At times we'll reveal ourselves to you and others, and there's reasons for it. You know, this ain't no, this ain't no burnout acid trip, man. This is a precise military operation, man. That kind of thing. So, you know, you learn, So we learn off this stuff too, in many ways. Yeah, this ain't no joystick for me to be used as some kind of joystick for me for, hey man, look at me. I'm Mr. The guy that's getting all these UFO footage. So anyways, yeah, let's carry on now. I'd like to mention, read a little bit about some recent intel by Cobra in regards to this war between the light and the dark. It's so exciting that this war is almost over, man. Absolutely 100%. And then after that, I'd like to get into a little bit of, I'd like to also mention the huge meditation coming up here, a mass meditation, December 21, 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn are in conjunction. And man, it's like astronomically and astrologically speaking, it's like we're going into the golden age, man. Like in a couple of fortnights from now, man. It's like, wow, mind blowing, you know. And we're gonna all feel this energy that day. It looks like I can't see how not. Especially the more of us meditate, man. We've had some really good meditations this year, including in January. I believe that's the one we had over 1 million. Like the more advanced light forces in play are able to figure that out, able to tap into that and actually see how many people on the Earth's surface meditate in these mass meditations, get a pretty good ballpark figure of it. So January in particular, we hit a cosmic grade grand slam, if you will, over 1 million of us. And then the one after that was we reached critical mass and much more as well. I believe there was about 250,000 they figure of us. And that really helped too. And on. We've had other ones since. But this is a huge one. And I'll show you the diagram Cobra's got on the site, why it's so huge too, or a little bit on why. And I'll post Cobra's site below. Anybody is still not familiar with Cobra's site, Cobra Portal 2012. I just want to say, to me, this is the best intel available to any of us on the Earth's surface. And I say that as a, now that I know, I have enough memories that I am an SSP veteran, and help with a really excellent lady who's does hypnotherapy and such, and is like a really excellent remote viewer, etc. She's able to actually remember a lot more than I remember about my experiences, like in regards to links of my service in the SSP, what I did, etc. And I'll get into that in a bit. I just want to speak a little bit on that, but I just want to share screen onto Cobra's site here and go through a little bit of some recent intel. Okay, here it is here, yeah. Now, is this sharing here? I think so. This is, yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. That one is, oh, okay, no, I don't think, sorry about that. Here, we got her now, yeah, that'll get her in there, yeah, that one, not that one. Not that one. Let's see here. Will just be a second here. Oh yeah, here it is here. Now, here it is here. Okay. Now here's just the basic diagram that's up on Cobra's site. See the January 12th meditation, we had over 1 million. That was like a huge success, man. And that was when Saturn and Pluto, as this diagram's indicating, conjunction happened. January 12th, because basically some of the light forces, the more advanced light forces in play, have been describing 2020 as really the trigger year into Aquarius. And absolutely, some people would figure we're already into Aquarius too, of course, and that's fine. I mean, you know, there's different ways to look at it, but we're certainly, like I say, to me, and this is the official, astrologically speaking, astronomically speaking, as far as the astronomy and the astrology, and I'm certainly not an astrologist or an astronomist, studied in astronomy. But basically, unless I'm not understanding it properly, December 21, 2020, when the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction happens, and we're going to have a mass meditation right at that right moment, when it's first in conjunction, they go into conjunction. The mass meditation is going to happen, which is really going to help to open things up. Like I say, where everybody, all living beings on the surface, it's going to surprise me if we don't very much feel this energy surge on that particular moment. Once the meditation kicks in and everything, and this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is happening, kind of thing. So, but this basic structure, this basic design going on January 12th, Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Then we go through the months until June 30, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction when they aligned. And then it starts to go, as you can see, the way it's designed. I'm not explaining it the right way here. But then anyways, it's all culminating now to the December 21, 2020 Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which is massively powerful for sure. I mean, Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system, and then Saturn's a massive planet and massively powerful in so many ways. Some people call some of these planets, the gas giants, etc. So this is huge, man. So basically, perhaps I'm pretty sure this will be officially, we enter into Aquarius on December 21, 2020. And since December 21, 2012, haven't we seen more and more amazing things happen? Very important date as well, of course, December 21, 2012, for many reasons. And, and then ever since, it's just been, things have been speeding up, more and more high light quotient energies flooding into this solar system. As this solar system sort of enters into a very, very highly photonically charged part of the galaxy, etc. So this is, we're in such exciting, amazing, liberating times here. So anybody, hopefully we're going to get a big turnout for the mass meditation, December 21, 2020. And like I say, there'll be a link to Cobra's site below. Anybody want to, interested in checking that out. Cobra just posted this, which is all sorts of, YouTube, all sorts of videos in various languages. If whoever wants to participate in the Age of Aquarius activation meditation, here's a whole bunch of videos in 27 languages, actually: English, German, Dutch, Swedish, French, Spanish, Portuguese, Portuguese, Brazil, Italian, Latvian, Finnish, Russian, Czech, Slovak, Slovenian, Macedonian, Bulgarian, Greek, Romanian, Turkish, Hungarian, Persian, Telugu, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. Excellent. And there's a nice picture of Cobra just posted about this Aquarius December 2020, December 21st, mass meditation and entrance into Aquarius. Pretty awesome. Now, this is now the purpose, just a little more on that meditation for now. The purpose of the whole 2020 Age of Aquarius timeline Stargate is to stabilize the Age of Aquarius positive timeline for the planet. During 2020, the dark forces have tried their hardest to prevent the positive ascension timeline from manifesting. Now it is our collective chance for the positive ascension timeline to be anchored, secured, and stabilized forever, and to ensure that the rest of the planetary liberation process occurs smoothly and rapidly. Exactly. So it's all about, this meditation is big time about securing a very positive timeline, because as we go by time here, linear time, it's time doesn't work that way. Eh? As more and more of us are getting more and more of an understanding of time. I mean, it's quite a high science and there's lots to learn, but basically time is like an elastic. It's you can stretch it out and make it much longer, and it can be contracted and become reduced. Time travel in the future and time travel to the past, all that kind of stuff. And of course, we do time travel in the SSP, that kind of thing, all the time. Okay, so now a little bit on, I'd like to read a little bit on a short message to the surface population that Cobra wrote on November 10th here. And he wrote just a little bit, an excerpt on this. Many people are worried about the outcome of the U.S. election. This is November 10th, of course, so we're well in past. We're 17 days later now. So, but anyways, many people are worried about the outcome of the U.S. election. Light forces have communicated that whoever becomes the president, it will not influence the overall plan for the planetary liberation. They have also asked people to release the emotional attachment and emotional investment in the outcome of this election, as generated energy of worry, anger, fear, frustration, and uncertainty is gathered by the archons, amplified and distributed through the planetary energy grid. Exactly. Light forces are also asking everybody to decrease the polarization and to start seeing people as an embodiment of their soul, regardless of their political orientation. Absolutely, man. And so anyways, I think that's excellent, man, because basically the reality is, as anybody who's tuned in enough knows, say in the country of Canada here, we've got the three main federal parties. We've got the Liberal Party of Canada, we've got the Conservative Party of Canada, and we've got the New Democratic Party of Canada. These are the three main federal parties here. And there's a segment of them that are criminals, and they're the ones that are going to be arrested soon. Just like in the States, the two main parties there, federal parties, are Republican and Democrat, of course. And there's many criminals involved on both that are walking around as Republican senators, Republican Congress men and women, as well as here in Canada. There's certainly plenty of Canadian federal senators that are criminals, part of the cabal, and also, of course, the politicians, the federal politicians. And of course, it goes to the provincial levels. That's called, those houses, all the provincial political houses need to be cleaned out of the criminals, as well as in the states, all the state houses, of course. So, so this left right-wing thing, as more of us are catching on, is a massive and has been very successful in dividing us and that. So, and at the same time, this election right now, there's massive proof that in the case of, without, taking any, because I'm not even an American, but at the same time, the United States of America is the heart of the new Atlantis. So what happens in the United States of America is massively profound and important for all of us walking the surface. And here in Canada, it's really just an extension, a part of that, really, if you will, as more and more truth will come out. For example, the Canadians been involved in the basically the secret space program since the Americans got involved, right? And that, we've worked with the Americans in many ways and all that. So, the deep underground military bases that are, all over the world, including underneath all over the United States, and there's plenty of them in Canada as well. So with that being said, yeah, it's obvious there's so much massive proof that this international, we're talking an international crime spree here, because this is great that this is all coming to light here. And so that whatever elections we have in the future, we can actually get fair and just elections and actually have some really good people eventually running for office, like really positive forces, light forces, really bright light forces people that are very driven to be of service to this civilization and make it better and better and continue to restore natural law and all that stuff. So basically, but this is easy for any of us on the surface who want to take a look, including for those who seem to have a very, don't like one leader or the other. They don't like the president or whatever. It's easy to see that the president of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. Attention. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Donald Trump. It's very easy, and there's massive proof for sure that Mr. Donald Trump won this election in a landslide. And hats off to a lot of great light warriors in play right now that are bringing that to light. Let me just mention a couple. A great goddess light warrior. I'm not familiar with her, but I get some, it's resonating with me. We're hearing her speak and what she's doing, man. It's like amazing. Let's just get the truth, Let's start to sift. Literally, I think we're starting to sift like it says, separating the wheat from the chaff, all that stuff, eh? And that Sidney Powell, a really high-level lawyer that's, has released the Kraken. Absolutely. And I figure Sydney, yeah, she's got a whole army of Krakens, eh? So that's hats off to Sidney Powell for her ongoing excellent works. And I just want to say hats off to a great Capo light warrior who has just been officially cleared, pardoned by the President of the United States, General Michael Flynn, who has 33 years active service in the United States Armed Forces in the Army. A great Capo light warrior general in play, and the world will be hearing more and more about him. It looks like he is one of the leaders, the white hats, military white hat leaders. Well, he certainly is a military white hat leader that will perhaps also be very involved in ongoing, and has been, of course, in ongoing operations in neutralizing various dark forces in play still. Okay, so excellent. We're excellent to see that. That's all coming out. Regardless if we isn't that what we want? Unless like why wouldn't any of us want whatever the truth? Even if if we voted for somebody and then it was proven that the other person won, don't we want the truth? Don't we want the proof? I mean, come on, that's pretty basic. So yeah, and we do. Any of us that believe in a fair and just system. So this is huge for the whole world. This is going to free up. I could see this freeing up where all countries are going to have be able to have real elections after this, man. So hats off to the United States of America, all the light forces there in play, including General Michael Flynn, Sidney Powell, and there's many, many more, of course. Okay, so now with that, I would just like to go through a little more of Cobra. This is a final battle update part 2 from October 28th. In case anybody hasn't heard this, and you can read the whole report, of course, at if you want to go to this website. It's this is why the Earth surface-based cabal is going down now big time. And here's a little excerpt of some intel that's was released recently by Cobra about this, what Cobra's calling the final battle. And this is an update to the final battle part 2. Is here's a little excerpt from that. Cobra writes, Galactic Confederation and resistance forces have managed to erase the Draco fleet and the Illuminati breakaway complex, IBC. The only Dracos remaining now are those physical and non-physical Dracos who are directly employed as servants to the Chimera, and the naturalized Dracos who mainly came to planet Earth more than 25,000 years ago, entered the incarnation cycle in humanoid bodies and are now incarnated as politicians, bankers, lawyers, and other members of the surface Illuminati cabal. A very small number of naturalized Dracos also came to Earth in 1996 through 1999 timeframe as they entered humanoid clone bodies in underground bases and then entered the surface Illuminati cabal as lookalikes and doubles of many politicians, and they are still part of the surface Illuminati cabal. With the IBC gone, with the Illuminati breakaway complex gone, the only cabal network still remaining is the surface cabal. Surface cabal network will be properly addressed only after the Chimera threat is significantly diminished. Okay, so then it gets in about the Chimera, and there's been massive progress in eliminating, removing various Chimera entities, physical spiders, etc. Apparently, even the big queen spider, Chimera spider, in progress to where it's all coming to this December 21, 2020. when we sort of, officially enter into Aquarius, it's really written in the stars here. This amazing. Now, so that is, and now who is I just want to touch on, and there's lots more intel about that in that, if anybody hasn't read that update yet, some excellent stuff. But so basically, the Galactic Confederation and resistance forces Cobra speaks of. Now, the Galactic Confederation is made up of many groups, including a very large group that can be termed as the Pleiadian Confederation. And they're all positive forces that come from literally, certainly over 100, and it could be, I'm not sure exactly, but we're talking more than 100 planets for sure, of positive forces and their fleets of ships that are part of the Greater Galactic Confederation. And also it's referred to as the Galactic Federation as well by others. But that could be something in itself. I'm not saying, but basically a lot of positive forces in play here. So we'll just stick to the Galactic Confederation as the name of this very positive force from many, many star nations, from many, many galaxies that are all part of the Galactic Confederation, including a very large fleets of, like I say, the Pleiadian Confederation, with certainly 100 plus, coming from 100 plus planets in the Pleiadian star cluster. So that's the thing. Wow, And basically a little bit of my take on this is this solar system, and I said it back in January, or maybe not January, it was a few months, March, April or something. I just more or less on feeling and intuition. Basically, I would say that the Pleiadians, this Pleiadian Confederation I'm speaking of, because there's so many planets in the Pleiadian star cluster and so many civilizations, of course. And so this Pleiadian Confederation to me is I would term the general contractor, protectorate and guardian and running the show here in this solar system, and has been for certainly many months in many ways. And that's just my take, and I say that because the Pleiadians there's so much DNA walking around the Earth's surface in us, including myself, Pleiadian DNA, and there's many other humanoid DNAs, and there's reptilian DNAs, draconian DNA, type reptilian DNAs, etc. And some people have a little bit of insectoid DNA and cetacean, like whales and dolphins and stuff. So none of us are pure human here, other than some of the people coming off the ships that have been walking the surface and stuff. Perhaps in some cases, you know what I mean? Like it's not that there's not pure humans, I'm saying, but I'm certainly not anyways. So the thing is, that's the Confederation, roughly speaking of the Galactic Confederation, and the resistance forces. I'll just like to speak on the resistance forces a bit. This is a group with they're very highly evolved. They're very spiritually evolved. They're very skilled psionically, light warriors, and they have very advanced equipment as well, very advanced ships and weaponries, all that kind of stuff. And the resistance forces, approximately half of them are Earth-based forces, Earth-based peoples, but very enlightened ones. Like I say, we're basically talking. I'm pretty sure we're talking basically what we call the Agarthans, humans from the Agarthan network in large part. I'm almost positive about that. But anyways, the other half is from a planet. I can't think of the name offhand. It's one of the planets that we don't even, doesn't officially exist, because there's more than 9 planets in this solar system. I don't know how many, but there's definitely more than that. And this planet is really close, not far from the Oort cloud by the sound of it. And they have that planet has liberated themselves a while ago. And so they have sent forces to help us here to liberate this planet. And so they make up about half the resistance forces, these awesome humanoid beings, light warriors of all sorts that are working with, like I say, what I'm pretty sure is is some very positive, highly evolved, advanced Agarthans from the Agarthan network, from Inner Earth here. Some great people, say. And that's so that's a lot of the intel that's been coming out here for years is right from the resistance forces. And also we've been getting intel often right from the Pleiadians and other Galactic Confederation groups, like the Andromedans, etc. Okay, so that's very, very huge. That's why the surface population, or the Earth surface cabal, is really the only cabal left. And to say a little more on this, when they speak of the Illuminati Breakaway Complex, the IBC, they're talking about, some people call them, breakaway civilizations. These are, and this includes part of what's been the secret space program. So of the very negative forces in the secret space program have been neutralized, as far as this intel is speaking of. And hopefully we're going to have a fair bit of a fleet left, because there's certainly positive forces, SSP people, including lots who have left after they found out, got enough intel and found out who they're really serving and what they're involved in, and have been able to, in a lot of cases, successfully defect over to the positive forces of the secret space force, if you will, secret space program, if you will. Okay, so very exciting, man. So yeah, the Earth Surface Cabal will be neutralized now, and it is. You see it every day, and a lot what we're hearing in the United States, including these very awesome high-level lawyers, etc., and these military white hats like Big General Michael Flynn, and the lawyer, the lady Sidney Powell. And then of course on and on. We can go on and on with so much good stuff going on. Hats off to Rocco Galati, who's a high-level lawyer in Toronto, Canada, based out of Toronto, Canada. And hats off to Robert Kennedy Jr., another excellent lawyer, and continues to do excellent work for the to be of service to humanity, all that stuff. And there's some massive class action lawsuits going on, including some big, powerful lawyers, positive force lawyers, like those two gentlemen I just mentioned, and some from Europe and Germany, etc., that are putting together and getting more and more together these class action lawsuits that can involve thousands and even millions of people that are as plaintiffs, suing, including all these crimes that are going on ever since this COVID pandemic was unleashed by the dark forces, etc. So very, very excellent works going on at all levels by many, many positive forces. Okay, so other than that, I find that very excellent and exciting stuff. Now, I'd just like to speak of memories I've had of serving in the secret space programs. Just in the last year, I've had basically only in 4 different sessions, I've had 6 different memories. And 5 of those memories are from when I was working on Mars. And I was fortunate I was able to hook up and have a session with a very skilled, she's the lady who's very skilled in many ways, including psionics and remote viewing. This lady, I'll post a link to her YouTube channel below, and then she's got her website and etc. She got a great book on Amazon, all this. Ileana the Star Traveler. And actually, there's a film on my YouTube channel where I was able to interview Ileana recently. If you'd like to check that out, and she interviewed me not too long ago. That's on her YouTube channel as well. So I'd just like to mention. I'll mention one of the memories, anyways. I had was I'll go through the memories here just briefly. The first memories I had were patrolling pine forests that were hand planted, basically, not literally by hand. Probably it looks like they use more advanced technology, but some terraforming that our people have done on Mars. And so they terraformed, and there's pine forests. I'm not sure exactly how large these parcels of forest are. I haven't got a lot of memories back, but I remember I got 2 memories there patrolling. as part of the protectorate of those pine forests. And I'm going to bleed some of the information I got from my hypnotherapy session from Ileana, the Star Traveler, into this. She's able to remember much more of my career and the time frame and where I was and stuff, and which is massively helpful. Any SSP veterans who you might want to look into finding the right hypnotherapy therapist to have a session and go from there can, pretty amazing stuff. So anyways, what happened is, yeah, I got just some fairly brief but good, vivid visual memories. We're patrolling through. One was on a dirt road, and the other was on a paved road. Basically, it was about twice as wide as the dirt road. Patrolling through, and I knew like we're the protectorate forces to keep those forests from being basically burnt down by the draconians and perhaps the local Mars reptilians, who apparently they don't want those forests there. They like it more arid and dry. It seems to suit them. Whatever. They're but anyways, that's certainly a job. One of the jobs I did while in the SSP. I got memories of that. And apparently I was working for Kruger Corporation for about 10 years of my service. They were in charge of staffing the protectorate of those forests. And we were riding in a light armored personnel carrier. I don't have memories on what the chief propulsion system, but I can pretty well guarantee we weren't those vehicles we were patrolling through there weren't those sort of military grade Humvee types, like that. Certainly like the ones we see on the surface. We weren't using, we weren't burning hydrocarbons in an internal combustion engine as a chief propulsion system for those vehicles on Mars, because we have such much more advanced propulsion technology. But that goes without saying, kind of thing. But I don't really remember the vehicle details of the vehicle yet of that. But it was certainly a light armored personnel carrier, as we call it here on Earth, certainly. And there's a lot of similarities in the SSP too. So they were, that is part of the terraforming that's going on. So hopefully we can expand on that a lot. Once we, the light forces, take full charge of this solar system on Earth and liberate the planet here and everything, we can really start to speed up that terraforming operation on Mars, etc. There's so many awesome things we're going to be able to do, positive things, and those memories. So that was one memory I had. And then a couple other memories I had were actually engaged in combat with draconian foot soldiers, basically warrior class foot soldiers. There's many different types of draconian reptilians from the Draconian Empire, of course. Like there's so many different types of humans and so many different types of other reptilians. But these reptilians, the ones I had two memories of literally in combat with, like hand to hand, basically. We're using weapons, but I mean, we're very close. We're not, far away from each other shooting, rail guns or plasma rifles at each other. Those memories I had anyways, right? So basically these Draconians, as I've said in the interview, a couple interviews I did, was, their heads are just like crocodiles. And I mentioned that months ago in a cosmic Howling media video I did, I think in April or something. That they got heads on, looks just like a crocodile. And they're standing up tall, of course. They're on, they're standing on two legs, and they got two arms, and they're about these both times I had memories of fighting. In two cases, they were not quite. I thought I was saying about 7 feet, but I know now. See, once you have these memories, then you can really start to expand on them. That's what's cool too. Is they were about 6'8", 6'10", which is I believe about 210 centimeters. You know what I mean? They weren't quite 7 feet, but they were more than 6.5 feet. They were in between there. 6'8", 6'10", I'd say 210 centimeters. So they're taller than me. I'm like, between 5'10" and 5'11". So basically, and literally, the one time I was utilizing a plasma sword, and cut off approximately about half the snout of a draconian, and then I didn't remember much more after that. But that I remember that one and got a good vivid look of them. And the draconian, like I say, heads on them just like a crocodile, and they got a big tail too. And they're so strong. They're stronger than us. I mean, that's for sure. We got our augmented exo combat suits on, which make us a lot stronger. Plus, it's about 0.6 gravity compared to Earth, so that makes us stronger, and we can jump faster right there, right, even without anything on. And then with our weapons, our training, the kind of training you get, including sort of like boot camp on Mars, to start to learn how to be a combat soldier in the SSP. I just heard that from another SSP veteran about that, and that's resonating. Sort of like the main basic training for SSP combat soldiers. There's certainly a lot of it's going on in Mars, and I feel, and that's where I got my primary boot camp, if you will, training. And of course, we've already had lots of training before that. There's so much to this stuff. So anyways, that was one memory of a draconian, and the other draconian about the same height, certainly looked the same. And that time I was able to jump a little bit and lunge forward. I was running a bit, and I went airborne a bit actually. And this was the motion. It was like this, and got the draconian was his left side. Yeah, it was his left side. Yeah, it was his left side, bottom of his neck. And I was able to get, with about a 10-inch dagger, a good, nice big dagger, pierce his thick skin, really, So it wasn't for fucking stabbing. It was but piercing. And no doubt that, but that dagger to me, it had to have been coated with some kind of poison, probably a fast-acting neurotoxin. And that's the idea. It looks so. From my memories telling me, we utilize that as well sometimes, even a dagger, a metal, an actual, high quality steel daggers and such. But no doubt they had, to me, it has to have been their point. I don't have these memories, but it has to be, to me, they're coated with some very fast acting poison, a neurotoxin or something. It must be I would guess it's a neurotoxin. We've got a lot of cellular memories. Hey, some of this is coming from my cellular memories. So anyways, but that was the action, like I say, and no doubt I'm thinking now, yeah, we train that stuff for sure, man. We train to make those moves, because otherwise, yeah, you might have a nice big dagger, but how are you going to friggin' penetrate a draconian, man? We're not using them, like I say, to stab and get deep, like humans do to humans and stuff, shit like that. That not utilized as that, but to pierce, just get under the skin, release the toxin. Okay. So other than that, let's see. I might as well share a couple other memories I had because they're expanding now. And other than that, I had a memory where I was entering onto a shuttle, and we had some nice one-piece jumpsuit type uniforms, a little lighter than navy blue. It was 5 or 6 of us going on, and but the information that came with that was, we're going from the moon to Mars. And I'm pretty sure I just have a memory of that when I was leaving my service on Mars. I did 10-year service on Mars from what my hypnotherapist I've been hearing. Then I was posted over on the moon for actually 20 years. So I did 30 and back in the SSP. 3 major different sort of companies, if you will, I worked for, different jobs really. But the 20 years on Mars were basically combat soldier stuff. But in the case of, say, the protectorate for the force, there's definitely a fire team there. And I'm thinking we were also the fire team. That's coming back to me a little bit. They might have had a separate fire team, but I'm thinking the sort of soldier / protectorate security forces in play were also trained and would put out fires, like, say, if a draconian or a Mars reptilian indigenous maybe fired some kind of projectile, like a phosphorus type projectile to get a fire going, we'd friggin' put it out real fast. Eh? We'd have to have a really excellent, utilizing advanced technology to really be able to effectively put out any fires that get started. Eh? Boom, so it doesn't burn down our beautiful forest kind of thing. Anyways, so other than that, yeah, I had a that brief memory of just going on a shuttle ship, and it's apparently it only takes us about 20 minutes to go from the moon to Mars on these shuttles. We go through a wormhole, and that's why it doesn't take very long, right? So it takes us like about 20 minutes to go to the moon from Mars, and takes us about 16 hours to go from, say, Vancouver to Hong Kong. It's like on a much more dangerous and slower and less comfortable aircraft, right? Like I was saying earlier, man, I'd rather fly on a Hercules, an old Canadian Forces military Hercules, or a new one, whatever, an aircraft, cargo ship that also uses for transporting troops, with those nice mesh sheetings on the side, all the mesh, and you just go right into the mesh, and it's it's very good for your back and stuff, it all, And so, like I say, yeah, we could do a lot better for our commercial air travel here. That's for sure, to say the least. So anyways, yeah. Oh, another, other than that, my most recent memory I found very interesting was this cat who, and now as I'm remembering more, and it's smaller than what I even thought. It's this cat that's half the size of or even a third of the size, really. Take a big leopard that you'll see. It's like half, even less the size of that. It's it's about half it would be no bigger than half the size of a full-grown leopard. I mean, they come in different sizes too, just like the cheetahs and stuff, but generally your medium size, average adult size, your average adult size, will say leopard was about half the size of that, if that, maybe even slightly smaller. So, but very muscular. And so, like I was talking about it in a couple of interviews, very fast and very strong at the same time. A creature that has both things going for it. It's got the strength of the leopard and the speed of the cheetah, man. And anyways, here's what happened. My memory showed me. So there's cats. There's creatures from the cat family. These really excellent, tough, strong, powerful, fast cats. Excellent hunters for sure. They have to be because they hunt these insectoids and stuff there, these big insectoids. Because the insectoids get to them sometimes. That's the thing. So what they got to do, here's what they got to do. This really cool Mars cat, really awesome, man. I'll just describe what it looks like first. It's like a medium to dark beige brown, a nice, almost like some deer would look. That color, there's different colors of deer depending on the different types of deer and size. So there's so we keep it basic here. I guess it's a medium to dark beige brown, a nice, really nice, and they're sleek looking, yet they're muscular. Not really bulk muscular, but that sleek muscular look like some cats, panthers and stuff have, and some of the more muscular cats. Yet they're sleek, man. They're sort of speed, so they're really fast too, because they need to be. They've adapted, obviously, so they can make a living up there, and as well as not get eaten so much. But so they basically he snuck up. They can sneak up to the insects there. You know how cats sneak up on their prey here all the time. They do the same thing there. It snuck up to this insectoid that had to be 2.5, maybe even 3 feet long. 2.5 to 3 feet long, right around there for sure. About 1.5 feet high and about the same wide. It was about even 2 feet wide. It was so a pretty large insect, approximately 2.5 to 3 feet long, 1.5 feet tall, and about at least 1.5 feet wide, if not maybe even 2 feet wide. So that insect's there doing its thing. It's not moving around. and it was moving around a bit. It's looking like it's doing its thing. Maybe it must have been foraging for food, perhaps, or whatever. It was moving a little, not much. This memory I had. But the cat had certainly slowly walked up to it, snuck up to it, so to speak, like they do on Earth. So it got close enough. When it got close enough, it charged. You know, like a cat can do. Their acceleration rate is amazing, right? They can get into a really fast speed, really, like, especially, you know, like a cheetah or something, eh? They can their acceleration rate is great, eh? Amazing creatures, right? And they need that to hunt successfully. So basically once it's decided, okay, I'm going for it, it took off. It took a few fast strides and really sped up fast and jumped at one point right on top of the insectoid, and very quickly, right at the top portion, the front portion, which would basically be the insect's back of his neck, so to speak. That was most likely had to be basically the central nervous system area. Same idea as, say, the back of our neck, man, you know, where our neck and our tailbone meet, you know, that whole thing, all that. There's a lot to be said about that stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, so this cat was skilled and knew he's got to get on top, and he's got to quickly get his fangs. He must have had at least one set of fangs, maybe even two, but he had to have it. He's got to have some fangs. I didn't see his teeth, but I seen him, carving into the insect looking, because when he pounced on it, he got a real good grip with his claws, and he was right, like I say, up forward where it was most likely right around the neck, what we call the neck area, so that he can pierce in with his welcome to the golden age. Sorry about that. And so he could pierce in and neutralize that his prey fast, so that otherwise the insect, very strong. Insects are very strong, especially that size, man. You can imagine. We don't see them around here, but there's been lots of testimony on you know, the fact that there's huge insectoids of various sorts on Mars, and you know, that live in Mars in their hives and stuff. So this really huge insect, certainly for what we're used to, you know, we don't see anything like that around here. Not on the surface anyways, you know, but it's certainly down below. But anyways, great hunter, and that's what he had to do. Otherwise, you know, that insect could do the dance and end up getting the best of the cat, the Mars cat, right? You know, it looked like it's very important for the cat, as in any hunting, of course, you know, to get on there and be in precision right where he wants to be, or she wants to be, with their nice, and get really planted nice and solid. So he's, you know, he's not going to get thrown off or anything, and get his friggin' teeth into there. And he must have fangs, like I say. I didn't see the teeth yet. Carve right in, and to hit the central nervous system of that insectoid, to, you know, neutralize that insectoid, and then and that's how they make a living. So they definitely eat insectoids up there. So excellent hunter, and man, love that cat, man, and stuff, eh? And as far as, yes, my secret space program service was 30 years, 10 years on Mars, working on the dark side of the moon on what's known as what the lady calls the hypnotherapist lady, has done 60 years service in the secret space program, real scientific science class type, and you know, I've done all kinds of stuff, a lot of lab work, cybernetics, all kinds of stuff. She got some great interviews with including other secret space program veterans. Actually, I'd like to, Penny Bradley, who spent a long time in the secret space program, she basically said at one time that Ileana, the star traveler, is the best remote viewer that she's ever that she knows of, you know. And that's quite a thing coming from Penny Bradley, who's got a lot of amazing testimonies. Penny Bradley, who spent something like 55 years active service in the secret space program, doing all sorts of things. So anyways, yeah, I'd spent 10 years on the dark side of the moon on a dark fleet base, not Nakwafen, but the other, another base that was, you know, kind of many nations were involved there. There was people from many nations, including Canada, lots of United States, of course. Would have been plenty of Russia, and Europeans, of course, Australians, etc. Right? Japanese. There had to be, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, etc. Like there's more than like this. So that's certainly opened up more and more over time, when more and more people from various nations working together in various capacities, in various space programs, for various corporations, etc. Right. So Kruger's a big one. I don't know a lot about Kruger, but I've worked for them for 10 years. And the only memories I have of working for Kruger so far are as a part of the protectorate of the plantations, the pine plantations that are on Mars, that our people have been as part of the terraforming operations to re-terraform Mars eventually, to make it like massively brilliant again, and be able to afford so much more life as time goes on here. So and then after 10 years on working on the base as sort of base maintenance and operations and maintenance, the docking ports, many ships coming in and out of all sorts, that kind of thing, eh? And so it was, I don't have a lot of details on what I was doing, but that's I heard that from through a hypnotherapy center. So really the only memory I have of the moon is leaving it now so far, a vivid memory. I have some, they're not quite clear enough yet that I should speak of them, right? Once they get to that level of, okay, here it is kind of thing, eh? So, but then other than that, I also heard from a gentleman recently that I had not ever heard of, and I'm going to post a link below of a couple of secret space program veterans, kind of like from what I've been hearing, both these guys are really did well and are perhaps I could have it wrong here, but to me these guys were kind of like special forces types for Kruger, the kind of work they did. So I'll post a link there with a recent interview. These guys they have some good rap sessions because they're brothers from arms in the SSP and for Kruger. So I'm not remembering them that I may have even met these people. It's hard to say. Other than that, I still have quite a feeling I met Captain Randy Kramer when I was up north working for the Mars Defense Force on a northern base, one of the northern bases. A good chance I did meet him, and I think I actually worked on the same base, so got to know him quite well, but I don't remember that yet. But it's cellular stuff. And even if I was on another northern base, sometimes you meet each other, when things cross over and missions, the way things happen, eh? I just want to comment on that because that's Captain Randy Kramer. I was able to meet him and hang around him for quite a bit, for a couple of days there when I went to his psionics course. And it was like one of those things. Hey, I seen him in person. I go, it's like I know the guy, but I still haven't got the frontal lobe, acute memory of it, eh? But it won't be surprised me if I start to remember some of my brothers and sisters I worked with there, and it is starting, kind of thing. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying I knew him up there, but I certainly. It'll surprise me if I don't. That's all I can say. When I'm sure I remember, I'll certainly speak that I am. Other than that, we remember what we remember, and we don't. We're wrong in the moment. So, but anyways, I'll post that link with the SSP, a couple of SSP veterans, including did a lot of work for Kruger. These guys, including one of the guys who was became an old man on a ship. Right, that's like the commanding officer of a ship. Right? I was in the Canadian Navy, and we call you just call him the captain, even if his rank isn't quite captain, right? Captain in the Navy is the same as a colonel in the Army, right? The rank 4 bars, right? Or I'm sorry, general. No, general, that's admiral. General's admiral. Colonel is the same as captain in the Navy, 4 bars, right? Whereas captain in the Army is 2 bars, of course. So anyways, the old man, as he's known with, right? Anybody who's worked on a ship, right? The boss of the ship, the commanding officer, the captain, not necessarily captain in rank, but the captain, nevertheless, captain of the ship, the old man, right? So this guy was an old man on an SSP ship, like he was an enlisted man. So there's quite a story. I just first started hearing of these. Johann Fritz and his brother in arms, his brother from arms, SSP, Ted, a couple of guys from the United States of America. So I'll post that link too. He's got all kinds of intel, man. Both those guys, they have lots of memories, and wow, pretty amazing stuff. But yeah, and in the case of a little bit I've heard so far of, say, Johann Fritz, he's enlisted. He started as an enlisted man and worked his way up, man, and became a commissioned officer eventually, and eventually became an XO of a ship for quite a while. Did so well that they gave him a ship to. They put him in charge of a ship, man. He said, "You're going to be the old man on that ship now." So another very high achiever in the space, in the SSP. Like that's pretty amazing stuff. And so some of these people that have been speaking out for years, SSP, are very high achievers. Very impressive. So other than that, I just wanted to say that, yeah, I hope everybody, the more of us can join this December 21, 2020 mass meditation to bring in Aquarius, officially bring in Aquarius, bring in a nice positive timeline, the whole bit, eh? And I'll post a link there to Cobra's site, where there's and like I say, 27 languages, lots of videos. Anybody want to go check the video and what we're the process involved, what we're going for in meditating. Basically, a lot of it's to help bring in a very positive timeline into Aquarius here, right? Shift it into a more positive thing, and that'll bring us right out of this COVID pandemic, dark force thing, and the surface cabal is on their way out now. There's no, it's happening. We're really seeing it happen, right? Especially with all of this news, all the stuff coming out of the United States of America, which is the heart of the new Atlantis, absolutely. So very exciting stuff. I just wanted to mention too about the SSP, and I've been feeling this, and I heard this also from someone else, but it's resonating, and I couldn't put it into words when I said basically about the SSP. Oh, it's not like we have a choice, right, to go into the SSP, but actually we do. That's right. I was sensing that and feeling that, and hearing it from Johann Fritz. It helps hearing it from somebody else. Yeah, exactly. I kind of knew that, but I didn't know how to express it. I still don't know how to express it very well. Johann expresses it really well in including this video I'll post below, of the fact that, yeah, we give consent at one point that, okay, yeah, we'll become an asset into the SSP, and I certainly did that, because there's I could see how it's very luring, intoxicating to have a chance to go and experience advanced technologies and train in psionics, etc., and really excellent training and potentially opportunities, travel to other planets, planetoids, moons, asteroid belts, whatever, eh? At this stage, it looks like I didn't really do a lot of traveling. 10 years on the moon, 20 years on Mars. I probably did some, but I don't remember. But my feeling of my particular SSP career is my couple years in the Canadian Navy was kind of like a microcosm of that. It was always a love-hate relationship. And so the SSP to me has been that. I loved it lots and I hated it lots. It wasn't really much in between, so there's a lot of, love for, and the elixir of life when that rush you get. I mean, I'm not going to bullshit, the rush you get when you're engaged, man. It's like this, you're engaged in the field, man. You know what I mean? And like same ideas, say as young men and women, especially when we get in the street fight on Earth or whatever, and the adrenaline starts pumping, and you know what I mean? It's violent. It is what it is, but you get high off it, right? I'm just okay. Yeah, there's a highness, and if you don't get end up getting pounded out too hard, because I remember a couple of times I got pounded out quite seriously. It's like, and that sort of rush was inhibiting that sort of high after. It was like, oh, I was so, a couple of times in particular, it was like, got so many hits and, punches in the head that I'm just talking about as a young man on the Earth's surface here in street fights, right? That I remember that where, boom, boom, boom. And I was so, like pretty bludgeoned and stuff. And, the shiners and the black eyes and the fat lips. And I was fortunate. I only broke my nose once was only broken. I've been very fortunate, for many reasons. I've been very fortunate. But anyways, yeah, those couple of times I didn't feel that high much, it was like, oh man, I'm hurting, man. I got, and stuff, but other than that, yeah. So I can see, the lure of that. I consented, and I appreciate Johann Fritz speaking of that, because I felt that too, and I just couldn't put it into words in an interview not long ago. And I basically said, well, it's not like we got a choice, but actually we do. Yeah, and I did. And I went for it. And I'm glad I did too. That's just what it is, eh? But we're going to make it much more legal and much more transparent and open it up to everybody, man. And we're going to turn this thing into something real beautiful for everybody eventually, step by step. Right now, yeah. So the surface cabal is going down. Absolutely 100%. All life forces everywhere. Thanks for your ongoing excellent works at all levels here on the Earth's surface, below the Earth's surface, above, here in inner Earth, that's below. Yeah, here in the lower Earth orbit, in the mid Earth orbit, in the upper Earth orbit, sublunar space, all through the solar system, all through this galaxy, and beyond, if you will. So that's basically some excellent, like it's massive progress all through this year as far as this war. This war is going to be over soon, man. Absolutely 100%. Thank you very much, folks. And victory of the light, for the light, to light, in light, be light, sacred light. Yeah. Salut. Victoire de la lumière.